Good, happy Wednesday morning, October 2nd, 2019. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. We have a lot of news to get to this morning, so let's get started. First up, heavy police presence at Londonderry home as AG announces suspicious death investigation. Few details of investigation released. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Kristen Carosa.
We feel that if a customer wants their product and they're ambitious and they want to do it today, if we have it here in stock, we have the people, the trucking, and why put off till tomorrow what you can do today?
Visit us at powellstone.com.
Tom, investigators have been here at the home all afternoon. As you can see, crime tape is up around the house and into the street as they work to piece together what happened here. People living on Ridgemont Drive in Londonderry came home to this crime tape in several local and state police vehicles, including the State Police Major Crimes Unit.
They wouldn't really tell us too much. Even the family didn't say too much.
Gita Kenny lives right next door to house number 15, currently under investigation by the Attorney General's office for a suspicious death. Crime tape has been put up around the property and the section of road in front of it.
They haven't said anything to us. My mom's actually the one that heard some stuff at the top of the street because she came to visit, so that's where I've gotten my information.
Still, many questions remain, but Kenny says she is not surprised by the activity. She says police have been to this home before.
If it was whatever happened, it's just sad because I just think the whole situation's sad. I don't want to say too much, just out of respect for the family.
Now, as this investigation continues, police do say the public is not in any danger. We're live in Londonderry tonight. Kristen Carosa, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Franklin election results. Mayor and Sportsbrook retail location question. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9.
The customers will call in or email in and just tell us that I was at the store, and from the beginning of the sale till the delivery, it was a great experience. And as a business owner, that's what we strive for.
Visit us at powellstone.com.
All right, on to Commitment 2019 tonight, and Tony Ginta will remain mayor of Franklin for another 2 years. He won 55% of the vote in today's municipal election up there. Lee Webb came in second with about 39%. Voters also decided to allow a retail sports book in the city. 60% voted in favor. Lawmakers recently allowed up to 10 sports betting locations in the state, but municipalities have to vote in order to allow it.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Horizons homeless shelter in Manchester implementing new policies to make facility safer. Shelter capping nightly guests at 138. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
We feel that if a customer wants their product and they're ambitious and they want to do it today, if we have it here in stock, we have the people, the trucking, and why put off till tomorrow what you can do today?
Visit us at powellstone.com.
New policies are now in effect at the New Horizons homeless shelter because of an increase in clients. In order to access the day resource program from 8 until 4, people must be engaged in supportive services, such as speaking with a case manager. Also, the shelter will only allow 138 people to sleep overnight per night. Staff say they have to turn some people away.
This is painful. The thought of turning anybody away breaks all of our hearts. And I don't know the answer because we have to make the best decision for the facility and our staffing model. It's going to be really difficult tonight. There's no doubt about it.
Right now, the shelter is looking to fill 8 positions to help provide those services.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. One year from October 1st, Granite Staters can no longer use standard licenses to board flights. New Hampshire residents can obtain Real ID in person at DMV. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Charisse LeClaire.
We feel that if a customer wants their product and they're ambitious and they want to do it today, if we have it here in stock, we have the people and the trucking, and why put off till tomorrow what you can do today?
Visit us at powellstone.com.
State officials are urging people about this timeline. They're also using signs like this one up all over the airport to remind people that the clock is ticking. If you're part of the 75% of Granite Staters who has not received your Real ID, state transportation officials have a message.
Time is running out.
TSA, DMV, and airport officials held a joint press conference at Manchester Boston Regional Airport today, 1 year out from the deadline.
We want to encourage you to make the choice well in advance of the October 2020 deadline in order to avoid extended wait times. You do not have to wait for your renewal to get a Real ID.
In New Hampshire, Real IDs have a gold circle with a star in the middle. They allow security, like TSA, to quickly check that your ID is compliant and up to date. They're being used across the country after the Real ID Act was passed by Congress in 2005, a recommendation by the 9/11 Commission that there be some sort of federal standard of identification.
The improvements are intended to inhibit terrorists' ability to evade detection by using fraudulent identification.
If you don't have a Real ID after October 1st, 2020, you'll have to use a passport, federal PIV card, or military ID to get on a plane. To get a Real ID at the DMV, you will need to visit in person with proof of identity, a proof of legal presence, 2 items to prove New Hampshire residency, something specific with a social security number on it, and a current driver's license if you're coming from out of state. Now, right now, the Real ID costs $50, just like a standard license, but on January 1st, 2020, that price goes up to $60. At the Manchester-Boston Regional Airport, I'm Charisse LeClaire, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Conclusion in fatal shooting revised after officers' conduct. AG's office says it can no longer conclude shooting justified. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Customers will call in or email in and just tell us that I was at the store, and from the beginning of the sale till the delivery, it was a great experience. And as a business owner, that's what we strive for.
Visit us at powellstone.com.
It's been 3 years since then Claremont police officer Ian Kibbe shot and killed 25-year-old Cody Lafont during a confrontation at Lafont's home. Originally, the Attorney General's office concluded Officer Kibbe acted in self-defense when faced with an armed man in the doorway who had repeatedly been calling 911 that night. But the case was reviewed after Kibbe was convicted of 2 unrelated crimes, including falsifying search documents. While no charges are being filed against Kibbe, the Attorney General's office questions his credibility and says it can no longer conclude that Mr. Kibbe's actions were legally justified. Instead, the office has concluded that it could not disprove Mr. Kibbe's self-defense claim beyond a reasonable doubt.
He had been calling the police department for help, not because he was violent or threatening anyone. And the bad news is this is a bad cop.
Chuck Douglas represents Cody Lafont's family in a civil lawsuit against police and the city, alleging the officer should have recognized signs of mental illness and the city should provide better training.
We've since learned that Kibbe is a congenital liar. They've had to drop a number of cases. He went to jail and lost his job. But in the meantime, Cody Lafont lost his life.
The lawsuit seeks compensation for the family. A jury could decide that amount. Live in studio, Jean Mackin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Concord High School ordered to turn over records as lawsuit over sexual assault allegations proceeds. Plaintiff's attorney says unrelated case shows how district handled allegations. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Tim Callery.
We feel that if a customer wants their product and they're ambitious and they want to do it today, if we have it here in stock, we have the people, the trucking, and why put off till tomorrow what you can do today?
Visit us at powellstone.com.
She's doing relatively well, but it's been a very long journey for her.
Karen Hughes says her client is dealing with the lasting effects of what took place on November 29th, 2017. According to a lawsuit filed by the then 17-year-old's father, it was on that day when a male student sexually assaulted his daughter, physically groping and kissing her while on a school bus. She says the district learned of the alleged assault the next day.
The reports of her sexual assault were not responded to appropriately or adequately.
The lawsuit says the school took months to investigate the claim, which allowed for several run-ins between the teen and the boy she's accused of assaulting her.
Which led to her requesting to go to a different high school for the remainder of her high school career, and ultimately led to the filing of this lawsuit to bring about change in Concord High School.
Today in federal court, Hughes requesting policy records from the high school during the 2018-2019 school year. Specifically, how the district handled another case involving sexual assault between a teacher and a student, a case that ultimately led to the superintendent and high school principal going on leave. The defense pushing back, saying the two cases are separate, but the judge ultimately granted that request.
Obviously, it's a different situation than student on student, but I think the way that they handled it inappropriately was the same.
And now Hughes adds that there could be some time until this lawsuit goes to trial. An attorney representing the high school and district declined to comment. We're live here in Concord. I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Warren Biden in virtually dead heat in St. Anselm College poll of New Hampshire primary voters. Massachusetts Senator continues rise in first in the nation primary state. Sanders in third place. Take a look at this photo. And here's that new poll from St. Anselm College Survey Center. Elizabeth Warren is 25% in the lead. Joe Biden right behind her in 24% in the lead. And then followed by Joe Biden is Bernie Sanders, 11% in the lead, and Pete Buttigieg, 10% in the lead. And now let's take a look at your 2020 New Hampshire candidate tracker for October 2nd, 2019. We have two candidates that will be in New Hampshire today. The first candidate, Tulsi Gabbard. She has two events today in New Hampshire. Her first event is a town hall at the Laconia Public Library in Laconia, New Hampshire at 10 o'clock a.m. Her second event is a town hall at the Raymond Democrats Town Office in Raymond, New Hampshire at 6 p.m. And Joe Seastack, he's in New Hampshire today. He has one event today in New Hampshire, town hall hosted by Ware Democrats in Ware, New Hampshire at 6 p.m. And those are the two candidates that will be in New Hampshire today. U.S. futures point to a higher open on Wall Street. U.S. stock index futures were trading higher on Wednesday morning. Man arrested after doorbell camera captures a terrifying kidnapping. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
The alleged kidnapping at a front door in California. Home surveillance showing a woman banging on a neighbor's door pleading for help. Police say her estranged boyfriend is then seen dragging her away by her hair. They studied that video and where they rescued her. Here's ABC's Kana Whitworth.
Tonight, the man in this video is behind bars. The terrifying attack captured on a neighbor's doorbell camera. Police say the woman was running from her estranged boyfriend. She's kicking and screaming as the man grabs her hair, violently drags her away, and threatens to kill her. It happened in this neighborhood in Arcadia, California, just before midnight Sunday. Police got the video on Monday and moved in, rescuing the woman and arresting 27-year-old Robert Michael Mendez, who police say was holding the woman against her will in his home. The video was turned over to police by the homeowner in this case, but the company Ring has video sharing relationships with more than 400 police departments across the country, what they call the new Neighborhood Watch. And David Mendez was booked on charges including attempted murder, kidnapping, and false imprisonment. The woman was so badly hurt, she had to be taken to the hospital. David?
Kana Whitworth, thank you.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that did it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Wednesday, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.